Tony, you have not always had shot blockers as proficient as Darion is at it. What has that added to what's a good defense already?
Yeah, well, that just when there are breakdowns, he comes out of nowhere. That's like making a play on offense, going and getting your own. Well, he has that ability and that timing. He's always had that to be an eraser kind of guy at the end, or come up with a big play. And he really does have he's a very quick jumper and good timing. And sometimes he saves you when there's a breakdown. And if you don't have too many breakdowns, it's nice to have that on the backside because it does make some guards think, or others, when you're going in there.
Tony, you've had some games where you've allowed the opponent to get back in it with some second-half threes. It looked like that kind of started to happen tonight, and then you were able to stem it. What did you do better tonight to stop that from kind of completely unraveling on you?
I think they missed a few shots, but I think it kind of happened in the the start of the second half or a little bit of the middle where we had a bad stretch and some turnovers, didn't do well offensively. They got some offensive rebounds. We had some missed assignments. But then I thought we shirted up and responded and just finished stronger, whether it was making the free throws, a couple big buckets, Mariel's three, London's drive, and then finishing, and then coming up with some bigger rebounds on their misses late to keep it somewhat, round 7 or somewhat comfortable.
Tony, Pitt shot 65% Saturday against North Carolina and scored 89 points. How did you hold them to 15 points?
Yeah, in that first half, I thought our defense was really good. Our guys were charged up. We were bothering shots, and we just made them earn everything. And, again, we talk about contested shots, but there wasn't a lot there, and they were really inspired. I wish we could have done that for the majority of the second half. We didn't, but I thought it was one of our better halves, and we certainly respect it. Their ability, how hot they have been, and how well they've played lately. So our guys responded to the challenge. They knew they were going to have to scramble and fight and bring a little more awareness. We sort of got torched in some ways against Wake Forest's ability to shoot that three, and I thought we were better on our rotations and being there on the catch.
Mariel had not been playing great of late. He made a number of good plays tonight. What do you think that means for this team going forward while Justin's
Yeah,
out?
I really challenged the bench. I just said, now's the time. I said, forget about if you're in there, if you're not in there, if you make mistakes. I said, just get out there and fight, battle, and be all about that and nothing else. It's kind of time to grow up in a sense, the freshman. And I thought he really played it. He battled. He hit a big three, made some good stops. And I didn't go with Devin this game. I just liked the rotation. I thought Isaiah gave us a nice lift along with Mariel, and I thought they were really, really energetic. Isaiah was real good in the first half defensively. He gave us a great lift, nice passing, and just that third without Justin, that third perimeter or fourth perimeter score with some ball handling and defense was nice.
Talk about Malcolm and his 1,000th point, and I guess his 996 was the dunk. It seemed like an exclamation point at that point.
Yeah, I was teasing Malcolm. I said, in the NFL, the quarterbacks buy their linemen Rolexes. I said, you better buy your big guys, maybe a Tag Heuer or something, maybe not a Rolex, but something because of how many good screens they set to get you open, and told him how proud I was of him because, he's just a complete player. He's steady. He's tough. He's guarding a lot of times the best perimeter player, and so even-keeled. What a great ambassador for this university and for our program. Obviously on the floor and how he plays, but in all ways. And you got a call you want to take there, Doug, or is that no? Okay. But I think that he really is a tremendous ambassador for the university.
For 2 years running, London's assist-turnover ratio has been off the charts. But tonight he seemed especially effective passing in a crowd with the little slip passes. Was that your observation as well?
Yeah, that was a big one he made to Anthony when Anthony got fouled. I mean, he just kind of eyes out of the back of his head. We've seen that before. But he was, because Pitt does. They jam the lane. They're similar to us. They're physical. And he was very clever. And, he had a good game. He took the right shots. He missed one or two that he got rhythm shots, but he had a good feel for the game in terms of what shots to look, when to attack, when to make the passes. He dropped those little, we call them pocket passes, off the pin downs, and got us some easy buckets, which that's what this is about. You know, we're not this offensive juggernaut. We talked about it, but when we get some easy ones off of his playmaking ability, we take it, and he was very good tonight.
With 3 games now starting for Evan Nolte, how have you thought he's handled that starting role?
He defended well. You know, obviously his shot was off today. His balance wasn't great, and then he had an uncharacteristic turnover. But he really defended well, and he's such a heady player, and he's smart, and his size helps. And I thought he did a really good job. And, you know, the shots he took, I think were all – there was one maybe he was a little off balance and one he took early. But I just told those guys my message was, in a way, trust your system, trust each other, trust your shot when you have it. And he kept trusting it even though he wasn't making them. But you have to kind of do that, you know. And if I need to tell the guys to put the gun back in the holster and say, hey, look, maybe that's a bad shot, so be it. But I wanted them to shoot with trust or confidence. And I thought London did that, Malcolm did that. And, you know, we've been – our last 4 games statistically from 3 has been very poor. Well, tonight, obviously, 5 of 13, and that's absorbing the 0 of 5 from Evan was good. And that was important. But his smarts and defensive positioning and length was very helpful.
Last 3 or 4 games, you've also gotten different production from different front court players. Do you come into a game like Toby played 13 minutes tonight? Did you come in anticipating he'd get fewer and other would get more, or is it how the game?
It's funny. I told him, and I said right as the starting lineup was going, I said, we need to get you more minutes tonight. That's what I said. I thought, because I really did, because he didn't play as many last night, but he got the fouls, and then that group was doing a good job. And again, they played Artis, heck of a player, at the 4 and sometimes or the 5, and Jeter was playing. Again, they went kind of the 5 perimeters or 4 perimeters, really all 5 of those guys. So those are some things that, you know, were matchup oriented, where I was hoping they'd be a little more traditional. But he stayed patient, and you know, he had a couple uncharacteristic turnovers. Again, his time will come, and again tonight it was obviously the other guys, but he gave us a couple nice buckets, and you know, he'll be ready next time.
What did you think of the crowd?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because I wanted to thank the crowd. Being a Wisconsin boy, you know, this isn't a huge deal as far as the snow and the driving, but I know for Charlottesville people and for Virginia, this is a big deal with the weather. And so those who came out, they were loud, they were active, they had fight, just like I challenged our team to. And you know, hopefully everybody's getting back safe. But that's great. I can remember my first year when we played Wake Forest, and I'll never forget that. There was 4,000 or 5,000, and they let them come down to the lower level, and it was a supercharged atmosphere for that. And so really appreciate it, because I know it's a little uncomfortable for the southern drivers here to be out in this, but I'm glad they came, those that did.
Tony, what were you guys able to do to take Mike Young pretty much out of the game? I mean, he's their leading scorer.
Yeah, you know, Artis and Young, I think, are a heck of a front court. Darian did a good job. When he got it in the post, we trapped as they would trap a little bit too. I think we did a good job with our trap. And, you know, when they ball screened, we were quick on our rotations and just really, you know, made him earn. And he didn't play probably as many minutes as he usually does, only playing 20. Did he get in foul trouble? Yeah, of course he did. And I think that was, you know, sometimes that just throws a guy off. But we were well aware. And with anything, the trap's good for us in the post and make him earn. And we did some good individual defense on him too.